Okay. Hi, viewers. I'm not doing an intro. It's a downtime session. I'm not. Hi, Sid. I'm not doing an intro. This is downtime session. I don't have to put effort in. So, hi. Yeah. Yeah. And this one, excuse me, is gonna be a bit of some Sid action. Meen's gonna do things. What will he do? No one knows. I guess I'll just start then. I'm not used to this quiet. I'm gonna start the music. Which thing is it? Which is it? I forgot the command.
It's semicolon P.
Okay, we're just gonna do this. I don't even care. You guys can hear it if you want. As we join our noble paladin, who has awoken earlier than the rest of the party, excluding Lonli. Just in... Oh shoot, I forgot something. 1 second.
Great start.
God damn it, where's my phone? I hate myself. Okay. We're just gonna have to check my notes using Big Brain. Okay. 1 second. Okay, I got it. Okay, so, Meen, you had been traveling with the group as you continued on your journey. And one fateful night, you thought to yourself and kind of remembered something that you hadn't thought about in a while. That, just like a kind of revelation, there was a shrine around where you were that was in worship to the nature god Agricola. But you know, of course, that it would also serve as a shrine to Vow. And with your new gained power, you suggested that the party would set up a camp near there, and then by morning you decided to wake up and ventured a bit out into the woods to try to find this shrine, which kind of Lonli kind of groggily waves to you as you set off. Of course, leave. Slushy is currently at the camp. You don't think he's probably gonna wake up until like 2 p.m. so. And fluttering onto your shoulder is Shelly, who simply sits there. The skeletons, yes, are walking around. Just in case you didn't know, there's skeletons now, but we'll get to that sometime later. As you begin your hike into the forest, she kind of just ruffles a bit. Her shell kind of falls down over her eyes for a second, but she kind of shoots her head a bit up, and it rocks back a bit so it's not covering our view. Can you make a, I guess, let me bring up. I should have Meen's character sheet up already, but okay, it's easy enough to find that though. Can you make me a nature check? Don't seem to really notice what you notice. The plants look a bit different as you walk through the forest. They kind of seem, as you walk down this path, you kind of see them slowly the closer you get to the shrine, the plants seem a bit more overgrown and natural, and as if they're in a very happy state. And eventually, walking down the path, you find your way to a small clearing. There's large stones in the middle. There's a little small stream of water drifting through and around the clearing, and you see kind of almost remnants of the shrine. It looks as if it hasn't been tended to in a while. There's kind of just stone formations and pillars strung about, and it looks very overgrown, but honestly, you think that's probably for the better for a shrine to the nature god. At which, you kind of see the trees kind of part around it and let sunlight shine through in a very beautiful manner, hitting the gray rocks and illuminating them with a bit of white light. So?
Ready.
What do you do? No, there's an altar, I forgot to say. Small, it's like a tree trunk kind of made out of stone that has kind of it's a bit slanted in its top face is slanted a bit towards you, and there's a symbol of a leaf on it kind of carved into it. Really, it's kind of interesting around it. There's much more flowers kind of dotted around it, and you can see there's even in the clearing some rabbits and mice, and there's some birds most of them kind of almost circle the altar like kind of halos or reefs. And up by the altar there's a few rabbits kind of sitting next to it, but they kind of stand up looking a bit noble as they make eye contact with you. And you see there's not really too much around the altar, but there is like a little kind of stone platform where one would I guess pray, though it's a bit overgrown as the rest of the shrine is. It's not a Sheikah slate. There's not like a scripture or anything. It's just it's like a stone tree trunk, but instead of cut like straight across, it's like diagonal, as if it's like kind of something that's meant to be presented like as, and carved into the stone surface is a kind of symbol of a leaf with a few kind of various runes dotted about the edges and stuff like that. Okay, as you kind of drop a silver at the foot of the altar, kind of on the rock, you watch as, first of all, like, just almost out of nowhere, a drop of water comes down and splatters onto the stone surface of the altar. It doesn't look like rain as you look up. It's pretty clear skies as the drop of water slides down through the cracks and crevices and kind of just... I hate you, bye. Kind of just through the leaf inscribed on the surface, kind of you just see as if rivers kind of connect, and it looks like it begins to kind of, it gets damp for a second before it starts glowing a bit gold, and you watch as the silver piece that you dropped kind of phases into the stone surface as if it's returning to nature. And with that, you just feel a very warming feeling. At which you feel the warm, comfortable, familiar feeling of your goddess, as then a bit behind the altar you hear a bit of a creak as the trees start to sort of open up a bit, forming another path, as through it you see a large, even larger than really, pretty, like, noticeably larger, elk. It's very graceful and has a very silky, soft fur, or soft-looking fur, that is, fur. It looks very clean for something that you assume has been living in the wild. It's a beautiful dark shade of brown with some white around its ankles and on its tail, as well as some kind of dark or darker black fur around its snout, and just white speckles dotted about it as it kind of stands and the sunlight illuminates onto it. It just stands before you looking curiously. Nods.
There.
As it kind of just looks around the shrine itself. Okay. Let me see. As it sees, it kind of like looks around you as you cast this and nods, and it itself does not start speaking, but it acknowledges you casting the spell, and then within your mind you hear a voice, though it's not one that you expected, as the very calm, familiar voice of your goddess fills your mind. Meen, you've done a great service to my order with protecting this creature you have found. With your noble act, I have granted you more power within my sects. And I grant you this creature of nature to help you on your way.
Well, hey there.
You hear kind of a sort of a chuckle within your brain. Yes. I love that, Meen. It's good to see you, or hear you.
I knew this elk looked like your magic.
I'm glad you've started to recognize me. Now, for you to continue to gain the power, I assume you've somewhat gathered what you must do. The creature you have found is endangered and lost, and is not liked by most of your societal counterparts. With this steed that I grant you, no,
Like an outcast elk?
this is not the creature I'm referring to, Meen. This creature is hated by much of society, at least most of it that knows of it.
Sorry, I just woke up. I'm sorry. Go on.
It is fine, my follower. By accepting this steed, you also accept a new goal. I wish for you to protect this creature, this Tarrasque, from the harm that society brings. Do you take this quest?
You give me a little more information on what this is exactly, so it's easier to take care of it, I mean.
Long ago, this creature was common on the earth, what was commonly thought to be one of the most dangerous bringers of destruction in this world. It was at odds with the mountain turtles themselves. Thus why it has the name Enemy of Mountains. And was not well liked by most. But it continued to live, and it became a bit more endangered as years went on. But they survived until briefly after the Great War of Oreth, when King Oreth himself ordered for them to be targeted and destroyed due to their danger that they posed to most of his nation in his eyes. But these creatures are not evil, I hope you know. As it is with most animals, this creature, especially as a baby, is innocent and has done no wrong to the world. And it is the last of its kind.
Yes, wow, I understand. I've been with Slushy to know that much at least.
I'm glad to see your fondness with it, Meen. There is not much more that even I know. As you know, I'm not a god of the highest power, but I can tell you that if you take care of it, it will be a dangerous enemy and a formidable friend. But if you teach it the right way, it will not go astray, I am sure of it.
Well, as a researcher, I'm sure I can find out a lot more about them with time. I accept your quest and request your guidance along the way.
I understand, Meen. I cannot provide very good guidance through shrines, as most of these are requested to be a bit more formal than my liking. But soon I will come to you and guide you along your way. Now, take this elk, a symbol of my power, and use it for the greater good of our order.
Hey, but how do I take it?
I summoned it here with a fraction of your own magic. It will obey your every order, though I do trust that you will still treat it as you would any animal. It will stay loyal to you and to me, as long as you treat it with respect and kindness. It is a new being, so its identity is yours to make. It kind of lowers its head a bit and closes its eyes as you rest your hand against its head. And as you thought, it is very soft. It is like silky smooth fur. You can run your hands through it very easily. It looks as though it has been washed every day of its life, almost. This creature is one of the most noble of my house, and it will serve you until death and more, as truly it can't fully perish in battle. Though I do trust with your new quest to protect this slushy, as you call it, you do not forget your original quest. Continue to take care
We shall take care of it.
Continue to take care of all three of the animals and creatures that you've been blessed with. Slushy, Shelly, and now this elk. I must leave you now, Meen. But I trust you will do good for me and for nature.
They're in good hands.
I know that all too well from my favorite disciple. And with that, you feel the warming presence kind of leaves your brain. You find yourself almost like clutching at it. It's just the memory of it, but the sunlight retreats a bit and the animals all kind of begin to scatter outwards, leaving you in a now regular-ish looking clearing with a large, still very holy looking elk and Shelly. Jeez.
This is becoming more and more like a walking zoo. but I'm all for it.
Shelly just kind of lets out a small coo, and the elk just bows its head.
Well, I need to get back to my party now. Hope to see you again soon.
So, you heading back, then? You do need to figure out what you're gonna do with your horse.
Feed it to the elk.
Make an animal handling check at advantage. Yeah, they are. I'd be very distressed if you tried to feed the horse to the elk. Oh my god! Sid, you kind of, try to throw your one leg over it, but it's a bit taller than you expected, and you kind of clutch at its fur a bit before falling to the ground. Kind of looks down at you before just looking back up. Shelly just kind of... Okay, make another one, but still with advantage. Yeah, it's been casted. Val said she used some of your magic to summon the steed. Okay, that's... With that, with a bit of difficulty, you're able to get onto the elk. It's a lot taller than you expected, and feels very different from riding a horse, especially since there's currently not really a saddle or anything on it. But you are... It kind of nods and begins to kind of trot briefly around. You almost lose your balance, but you're able to stay on before it begins down the forest path back towards the rest of your party. Okay. Well, that'll be it. That's our session. Did some fancy goddess stuff.
Whee!
Welcome to Fao. Fao made an appearance. That was cool. And then Meen still is never gonna talk about it. The elk dies. But it's immortal, so it's okay.
It still feels pain.
Yeah, that's fair, but you know. Okay, I'm gonna end the recording here then now, so bye bye viewers.